There we go.
Yay!
Say hi, Paul.
Hello.
Okay. Is that what people see?
There'll be a delay before you see it.
No, they see it right away.
Ah.
Say hello, Paul.
Hello. This is Paul J Bennett, Canadian fantasy author, and we're just preparing to begin our Christmas live stream.
Go here. Because the other one ended.
Okay. Yep, you're live.
All right. We're live. Today is the special Christmas streaming edition, and we have a special guest, which is, who is?
Me, but we're still doing technical difficulties.
So Carol will be emerging from behind the camera shortly.
Okay.
And here she comes
Hello.
in her Christmas finest here.
We have a puppy who wants to be here with us too.
Yes.
So this is Hazel down here. Welcome. Hello. No, it's okay, Hazel. It's okay. Nobody's here. You're here. It's okay.
All right, so this week we're going to talk about some things, or rather, mostly Carol's going to be talking about some things behind the scenes.
Not just me. It's a. If people have questions, I'm going to talk about things, but maybe they won't have questions.
Yes. So
bear with us. We may have some technical difficulties. We have a guest running our technical behind us. One of our daughters is here giving us a hand, so I may have to run and help, but she's way more tech savvy than I am, so we should be good.
So let's start with a basic introduction then. I'm Paul J Bennett. I'm the author.
And I'm Carol Bennett, and I do everything else.
Yeah, that includes marketing, editing, social media,
building computers.
Sure.
Yes.
All that stuff.
All that stuff. There we go. Sorry, just had to get my notes. I'm normally behind the thing. I'm the hand that comes in and hands Paul's books. Books like this, that's the first book he ever wrote. 3D. And if you order it online, you get a nice bookmark. And actually,
you order through our
website,
pauljbennettauthor.com.
It'll take you to our store, which is pauljbennettauthor.store. But the interesting thing to note is we have a special on right now that you can only get if we tell you the code. And it's BOGO 50 box. Buy one, get one for 50% off Boxing Day sale. BOGO box. No, BOGO 50 box. I didn't write it down in memory. This hair tells you my memory doesn't always work. I believe our assistant's going to type that in. But that means you get 25% off everything store-wide. It's going to be up on Boxing Day, but the only way to get that special right now is with that code. So if you receive our newsletter, you actually got it in your newsletter.
I have to comment it on TikTok too.
You would have to comment it on TikTok too, yes. So we use an app called restream.io so that we can stream to 3 different social medias at once. It allows us to comment to YouTube and to Facebook, but we have to go into TikTok to comment. Do apologize for anybody on TikTok because sometimes TikTok repeats what we comment.
And sometimes TikTok randomly disconnects.
Yeah, we do film in our basement. We set up a studio in our basement so that we can leave it here, make it a little easier for ourselves to film. We do a lot of TikToks, so a room seemed to make sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So our story, what's our story, Paul?
Oh, you mean as an author?
It's an open-ended question. There is no
we got married 40 years ago. More than 40.
40 years ago, yeah. What was the day we got married, Paul?
Let's stick to the author part.
What was the first day you wrote your first book, Paul?
I don't know. It was 9 years ago.
Yes, you released your first book on October 17th, 2017.
And we first released on the Kobo platform.
Yes. Why did we release on Kobo first?
Because it was more of a test run. Kobo is a very easy interface to use.
Yeah.
They're also very author friendly, and it's Canadian. It's owned by Rakuten, but it's the office is in Toronto and everything. And being Canadian, it's a pretty large platform here in Canada.
It's pretty large worldwide.
It is. Well, it's grown because
has,
they've gone into more countries since we started.
So there are a couple comments.
Okay.
One says, "What was it, Paul?" I believe in regards to the date. Another one is, "Which fantasy story do you like the most? For example, Game of Thrones."
Okay.
That kind of fantasy based.
We got married February 23rd.
Yes.
Which was actually my late grandmother's birthday. So that was pretty cool. What is your favorite fantasy book?
Ooh, my favorite fantasy book, other than my own, I'm assuming.
I know that's basically all he reads anymore. He just sits and reads, or he likes to listen to the audiobooks.
Well, when I'm writing all day long, it's
Yeah.
hard to sit down and actually read another book because I've been writing all day long.
I don't know, but you sit at a computer all day long, and then you are quite capable of sitting at that same computer and playing computer games.
But that's playing games, so that's different.
But it isn't for me. I'm like at the computer all day long, and I want to go outside. Oh, that's it. You don't go outside.
Occasionally I go outside.
You walk the dogs? The
Yeah.
dogs? Can they see our little Hazel?
Okay.
I think
She's
she's
just
not
chilling.
excited. She's just,
Our other dog is upstairs.
she's a part dachshund, so she really prefers a blanket. Normally we'd put it over her. Oh, hello. We'd put it over her head, but am I disturbing her slumber?
So I would say outside my own books, my favorite fantasy book is probably going to be Lord of the Rings.
And for me, I love Mercedes Lackey.
Yes.
I really enjoy books, but right now I'm really into cozy fantasy. But I'm not just a fantasy reader. I like lots of books. I was reading a book about a girl who got lost in the war, and then I'll read something contemporary, and then I'll go back to historical. I'm a mood reader, so sometimes I have a pile of books and I'll start it, and no, that's not going to happen right now. Or if I'm don't want to read something deep, I guess. Like sometimes there's emotional trauma, and I'm okay with that. But other times I can't handle that. And it's like that book's for another day.
Yeah.
I just need something light and fluffy, like Legends and Lattes or something from the bucket list. Oh, wait, what's the bucket list, Paul?
Yes, that's my new cozy fantasy. It's in the editing stage at the moment.
Yes.
And should be, hopefully, coming out sometime next year.
Yes, that's the goal.
And because pretty soon I'm going to be starting work on the second book in the series.
But what are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm finishing up Victory. Well, not right now because we're taking a break for the holidays. But I'm working on Victory of the Crown, which is the last book in a 15-book series, Heir to the Crown.
So just going to tell technically, TikTok, once it starts repeating your comments, you have to keep scrolling to the bottom to get to the next comments. It's really annoying.
It just put it in like 4 times.
It'll put it in 400 times because you commented.
Yep.
It's a known glitch with when you're using your...
Stop it.
Yeah, you don't use your own account. So you're using Paul's account to log in. So you would have to log in with your own account or my own account, and it would be fine. But because you're using his account and we're streaming
But
on
then your
his account.
comments would show up under your name instead.
Yeah, so that's the challenge.
Close it and reopen it, and maybe it'll stop reposting the same comment.
Yeah, you could try that.
Not this stream, but just the
Yeah, you could try that. These are so these are all the things that are happening behind the scene when Paul's normally talking. I'm dealing with all these technical issues. And sometimes he'll talk and I have a list of what he's going to talk about. And then I'll say, so where are you right here? And he's like, no, I just talked about that. It's not that I don't want to listen to you. It's just,
She's been busy doing
yeah, you get busy.
Which is funny because I'm the guy that was the network specialist, but
Yeah, but I
on your
ran an
camera,
internet
so-
cafe, and I was a manager, had of
yes.
40 employees in the retail computer business. So
Yes. And you built lots of computers
I
too.
have. So
worked.
yeah, because until you comment again.
I just won't.
So, Paul, how do our roles differ day by day?
Well, I spend my days writing or outlining
Or making tea?
or making tea. I tend to write in sprints. So I go for about 45 minutes to an hour and then I'll get up, make tea or move around a little bit. Yep. We have a question.
It's just easier if I put my.
Oh yeah, that's exactly how it's done.
Maybe I need a little like.
Yeah.
Little, like
A little paddle or something.
So our helper's telling us there's a question.
there's quite a few actually.
Okay.
It says your book is what kind? Epic, romance, grim, dark, dystopia.
All right. So right now I have 3 main series. I have Heir to the Crown, which is epic fantasy. I have The Frozen Flame,
Oh, Jesus.
which I have to say them in different order, which is
Complete.
yes, it's a complete series, and it is sword and sorcery. And I have a military fantasy series called Power Sending.
Yes.
And then if you like,
It's complete.
if you don't, yeah, it's another complete series.
Yes.
And then for those who want something a little bit different, I have in e-book format only the Chronicles of Cyrix, which is a medieval
That's not gonna work.
whodunit kind of a
Murder, whodunit murder mystery
whodunit
usually,
murder mystery, yes.
but not always murder mystery.
Not always a murder, sometimes just a mystery or a puzzle that has to be solved.
Yes.
So yeah, those are the types of fiction that I write. And then Carol does the editing. And we also have an outside editor as well.
And before you ask, yes, I did try writing, and that is not my skill set. I am very interested in how the words are placed and the sentence structure and everything. So I think I wrote 2 pages and it took me 2 days, and I went, this is not for me. I like to take that diamond in the rough and make it sparkle. That is my joy. So
yeah, and
he makes a lot of diamonds in the rough for me.
Yeah, but sometimes I'll discuss scenes and we'll talk about potential plot lines and things like that as well.
So we were talking about how our roles differ, but you had some more questions.
What inspired Paul to write fantasy books?
So I've always tried writing for years, actually, I think fantasy just appeals to me more. I come from a role-playing background, and I really like historical fiction, but historical fiction has the limitation that you're bound by history. With fantasy, you're making up your own history. Your story can go anywhere, and I think that's really was the appeal for me. So I could do historical fantasy. It would require a lot more research. We live in Canada, so aside from looking up stuff on the internet, it's a little more difficult to go visit medieval sites.
Which you'd love to do, but
sure. But you know, fantasy, I can invent that kind of stuff, or take any idea I like and combine different concepts from different time periods, even because it's fantasy.
But that said, he does do a lot of research, so it's accurate, physics accurate, and accurate more to a medieval. It's a medieval setting.
Yes.
So you do often check medieval settings.
Yes. My rule of thumb is I sometimes have expressions that I'll use, and I have to know, can I use this word? When did this word originate? Yes. And my time limit is up until about 1500. So if a word originated or an expression even 1600 or later, that's a little too modern, I think. If it's 1500 or earlier, then that's fine. I can use something like that. Or I might just twist it a little bit to give it sort of a more of a fantasy edge to it.
And then occasionally you just use it because there's just nothing else at work.
Yeah, and I have to bear in mind too, my readers are modern, living in the modern world.
We are?
Yes. Or living in the material world.
Break into song.
And so for one thing, I want my books to be an enjoyable read. So I use a lot of contractions, which would make it sound a little more modern, you know, like can't and won't or whatever. But it's easier to read. You don't have to, and I try not to use long terms and things. I'm not trying to show off a vocabulary. I'm just trying to tell a story and keep it, the focus on the story.
I think there's another question, Paul.
Well, there are quite a few still, but there's a follow-up to that one.
Okay.
And it's, how long did it take to actually start writing and making your world? I know you talked a little bit about the beginning, but do you have kind of a timeline and leading into making the world of perhaps each series?
So first of all the series take place in the same world. The world is called Idenworth. And we didn't originally have a name for it. That was actually after the first 1 or 2 books.
5.
It was 5 books. We had a contest through our newsletter to come up with a name. We ended up combining 2 names together, and then we gave out some
Iden and Worth.
Yeah. So Idenworth just sounded it had that sort of Germanic fantasy-ish feel to it. So
We did that also with the Saurian city, Ursa Sakam.
Ursa Sakam, yes, that's right, which features in. We won't say where it features in the story because of spoilers.
I mean, they're here because they like you. I'm
Now
saying spoilers.
the actual world goes back many, many years. I have, and I've talked about this on some previous
Live streams.
live streams.
Live editing.
I can go way back to my very first D&D campaign that I ran, and some of the concepts from that have made it all the way up
And when was that?
over the years. Well, I don't remember. I think I was, so I started playing D&D when I was 13, and I'm just about to turn 65. But the first two games of D&D were not a campaign in that sense. I think I was
Yes.
about 16 when I first started my first world. It was a fairly simplistic map, but elements of that have come forward. Now, most of the details of Eidenworth that we see in these books that I published, those are more recent in the last 15 years.
Yeah, good
I think
job.
that pretty much covers off.
But some of the characters come from the first ones, and
Yes.
you ran a campaign first,
Yes.
and then you ran the campaign that this is based on.
Yes, I actually ran two separate campaigns in a sort of a pseudo-European world. Some of the characters from that made it through into the series.
Because my
Actually,
character was Penelope.
yeah, that's right, and you were a Temple Knight.
I was Little P.
Little P.
I met up with a character that I knew my character was young, and I went up and I knew the character said the character's name, and Paul responded, Little P. So,
Yep. Yeah, he was a
wasn't
member of the Royal Guard.
Yeah.
The Knights Regal, I think they were called.
Yes.
Yes.
Did we answer the question? I think so.
So that's basically where the world came from.
Sometimes we go off on tangents. I think we have another question.
Well, I've got them locked and loaded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, TikTok had an issue though and kicked you out.
So all you do is restart TikTok on Restream. On the top right hand side, you see the three icons for the social medias. Go to TikTok, turn it off, turn it back on, because it'll say it's trying. Turn it off, wait for 5 seconds, and turn it back on.
I just turned it back on right away.
Oh, that might work too.
There's a concept for you. Turn it off and back on again.
That's
We
IT.
heard that. The IT
Yeah.
crowd. Yeah.
I've tried other things. That seems to work the best. And then it'll come back on in about 5 seconds. So if you get questions from TikTok, sometimes it's a good idea to memorize them.
There are some, but I think I can go back.
Nope.
I think I remember
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
question was from there.
Yeah, you have to remember.
It was, do you take any inspiration from George R.R. Martin?
No.
Okay, you have to qualify that statement.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with George R. R. Martin, but I'm trying to write my own story and not duplicate someone else's story. So I'm very cognizant of trying to avoid similarities. In fact, I have a whole plot line that I changed.
Oh yes, let's talk about that.
So well, I don't want to give away too much. I had originally had an army of undead that threatened the land, and I ended up changing it because we were watching Game of Thrones on TV, and suddenly it was like.
But you have to explain that. Like, you ran that campaign that happened 10 years before.
Yeah. So I mean, it actually happened in the game, but I had to change it because we're sitting there watching Game of Thrones, and I remember seeing this and going, "Oh, I can't do that now."
But it was far better what you came up with. And that's what's really interesting about Paul's writing. Sometimes he'll write something and I do his editing and I'll say, this doesn't work. And I have to tell him what doesn't work about it. And then he just fixes it. Like 95% of the time, he'll just rewrite it and it's perfect. But his brain works so fast and his world is so complete in his own brain that sometimes he's 10 steps ahead of what he's writing and he doesn't realize that the reader doesn't know what's in there. So that's my job, is to bring those little bits out. Well, one of my many jobs.
It's challenging writing in like a new series, right? Because, for example, Victory of the Crown, I've got 14 books ahead of it that have established everything you need to know.
Yeah.
So I can just sort of jump into the action and explain what's going on. But with a new series, you have to assume that some readers are coming to that series as a first time read of my books. So you're almost starting like the lore is already established, but you have to kind of fill in.
And that's happening in the bucket list series, A Drop in the Bucket. Paul's written it. I'm halfway through editing it, and I'm not sure I like the beginning. The beginning's good, but I'm not sure I like it for introducing new readers to his world. So,
Yeah, so that'll probably be a rewrite.
that's gonna. He's already rewritten it once. I like it better, but I still think we're both relying on known, and we need to start it as if nobody's ever read your series before.
Yeah.
So it does get a little tougher. Another question there.
If you were approached to make film adaptations of your books, would you do it?
In a heartbeat.
Sure.
Are you offering which network are you from? Because we're pretty open to all of them.
So it's interesting actually, because we've talked about this before. Like, would my books work better as movies or as a miniseries?
So this one would have to be a miniseries. This series, yes.
Yeah.
But this one
would work better as movies.
Would work better as a movie. And this one could also be a movie.
Yeah.
Right? Because
or series of movies.
These are shorter stories. Each one is a complete story. Whereas, and this one again, the Power Setting series goes from one character point of view, and the next book is another character point of view.
You're almost like two separate interconnecting, like the Arrowverse, like the DC did.
Yeah.
It would be the Bennett verse. What would that be?
But this one follows a young girl, and really, it's more episodic. Now, of course,
get the plot away.
the episodic problem is that young girl would have to give up 15 years of her life.
Yeah,
to film it.
They would outage it.
Yeah, at some point.
You don't want a sudden mid-season change of actress.
No,
You could. So if you did it as a miniseries, you could do a couple of books in a season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you don't have.
Yeah, that'd be okay. And we're not against anybody doing it. At the end of the day, you have to understand when someone buys the rights to your book, you don't get a lot of choice how it's done, and that's just the way it works. And you have to accept that.
Assume that they're good at their job.
I mean, they're paying you money at the end of the day, and you hope that they will do what you want. But unless you have it written into the contract, and who wants to micromanage that? Like, they do that. He writes. He is not a writer of screenplays,
right?
And he's not a film director. He doesn't know.
You just hope that they put the same heart and soul into it that you did as a writer.
That's exactly it.
But if I had a choice, it'd probably be Peter Jackson would be the director.
Oh, you don't want Tarantino and tons of explosions?
No, that wouldn't.
No, this one is, so all of Paul's books have no spice. So you have to, we don't want spice.
Lots of vivid,
relationships.
Lots of vivid battle scenes.
Oh yes, he does like visceral fights. He likes to hack off limbs.
Well, it's not me personally; it's the characters.
Sure, we'll go with that. Next question.
Who is your favorite author of all time? I think I can open this up to both of you.
Mercedes Lackey.
Bernard Cornwell would be mine. That's historical fiction for those who
I think we have two shelves. I mean, the shelves are messy right now, but
yes, I have lots of those.
Yeah.
And then we have on TikTok, someone says, "Hello, Paul. I'm from Bosnia and I'm 19 years old. I'm writing my first fantasy medieval based book. What's the best advice you can give for starting out?"
I have advice too.
My advice would be you have to find the method of writing that works best for you. I can tell you what works for me, but the way I do it is not the same as the way everybody else does it. And the one thing I've learned, one of the things I like to do is going to book events, talking to other authors and learning about their process. And some of them are very, very different from what I do. From my perspective, I find outlining was the key to my success. Yeah. But having said that, a good friend of ours, she writes.
She used to.
She used to write what we call seat of the pants, make it up as you go along.
Hi, Carolyn.
Yeah, Carolyn. Yeah. But she does a little bit of outlining now.
Yeah,
so
yeah, she does now.
Yeah, but mind you, she's written how many books?
Over 50 books.
Over 50 books, yeah.
She's written 15 traditionally now, but I think she was at 40 self-published.
Yeah.
But she's been writing 5 years more, so he's catching up.
I would recommend, if you're starting out, especially when it comes to getting advice about the actual process of publishing and so on, you should go and visit the website of Joanna Penn. Yeah. It's called The Creative Penn, but that's Penn, Penn, because that's her
type
last
that
name.
up.
It's TikTok.
Okay.
So I'm not going to attempt.
No, that's fine.
unfortunately.
But people are listening, so you could
But
write it
it's
in
a really
Facebook.
good web. She has lots of advice. She also does interviews and podcasts with
Joanna
other authors.
Penn?
So
The
it's good
Creative
to get
Pen.
that.
The Creative Pen and Joanna Penn is it. So my advice, I did not expect Paul to give that advice. Paul's advice usually is right. You can't get better at anything unless you do
Well,
it again and
that's true,
again.
yes.
Like the first time you try to ride a horse, you fall off basically. But no, my advice is to go check out something called the snowflake method. Paul uses something very similar, and you'll try it, and either it's going to help you or it's not for you. But then you'll know whether you're a person who needs to outline or needs to write as the thoughts come to you. It's a good way to see what works for you. And also, especially in fantasy, if you're looking at a series, you do need to plot some things out.
Yeah, it really depends also why you're writing. There are people that write because, and there's no right or wrong to this. Let me get that out there. Some people write because they just want to have the satisfaction of knowing that they've written a book. They're not too worried about does it sell. They just want to have that accomplishment. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's how you started.
I wrote it because it was the story I wanted to tell, and lo and behold, people liked it. Some people write purposely to make money, in the sense that they will carefully examine all the different genres, find out which one sells the best.
Right to market.
Right. Yeah, it's called writing to market. And there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just a different approach. To my mind, I'm writing because I have all these ideas. I've been running role-playing games for so long. And part of me is like at the point where I'm tired of, creating these plots and the players keep going other places. What?
There's a sweater in the closet if you're cold. Okay. Sorry, that's not for you listening. That's for our assistant here. Okay, next question. Is there?
So I'll do a really quick comment.
Okay.
Miss Terra Squad on YouTube said, "Thank you for writing clean fiction." So just know that there is an audience for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think Paul, that's not something Paul wants to. He doesn't read it.
There's a lot of spicy stuff available. So I
can get your smut elsewhere.
And once again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just
nothing.
I write.
I have to get my smut elsewhere.
Yeah. Yep. So I write, I guess you call it clean fiction or clean
no
fantasy.
spice.
No spice.
Yeah.
There is romance and stuff, but it's mostly
behind,
it's fade to black kind of stuff.
Someone has a follow-up to what you were saying, Carol, about the snowflake method. I want to know what that is.
So actually put in your browser the snowflake method of plotting a book. And some gentleman made this, and I can't tell you where I found out about it, but I found out about it, and I think I follow him on TikTok. I do a lot of Paul's social media, so I follow a lot of people in the industry. But I found it, and I noticed how similar it was to Paul. So the concept is a one-sentence idea of what your book's going to be about. Then you take that one sentence and expand it to a paragraph. Then you take that paragraph and expand it to a page.
Yeah, so you're sort of growing the story as if it's a snowflake being created. You can go in different directions.
Yeah. You have an idea, like A meets B, and we'll say enemies to lovers, right? That's the concept. That's the story of your book. You have this great idea, but the idea is just 2 or 3 sentences. If you put it on paper and you keep outlining to the point that you can write it. Paul outlines sometimes 20,000 words of a 120,000 word book.
So my outlines are in bullet form. Yeah. And for Victory of the Crown, it's 45 pages.
Is it really?
45 pages of outline.
Well, it's interesting. Victory of the Crown, we've noticed like Paul is now writing his 3rd series finale. And he's never really struggled with writing a book. He had a couple of his side books were issues, and then side books in the Heir to the Crown series, you have 2.5, 4.5, 6.5. He struggled with some of those because it wasn't flowing, and it was something he added after he did out the outline for the whole series. but he struggled with the end of each series. It's so,
Yeah,
it
because
was so hard.
Yeah, because especially in a 15-book series, you're trying to wrap up all the
Yeah.
loose ends and give it a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're kind of leaving a few things unresolved for potential future stories.
Yes. Well, the first two series he ended. So he ended the Frozen Flame first with Cataclysm, and he left some things open because there's another series that's following some of the younger characters. So he had to leave that concept open. But because all of his series are interconnected, he had to leave things open so they could happen in, we'll call it the main series, the Heir of the Crown series. And then when he finished Power Ascending, he did the same thing and actually had to rewrite the whole ending because I said, you have not ended this series satisfactorily.
So we gave it sort of a, not really an epilogue, but a final scene that sort of wraps up.
You did write an epilogue.
Series. Did I make it?
Yes, I made you write an epilogue. I did.
I can't remember if we made, like, we literally.
Epilogue.
Yeah, it was an epilogue.
Well, so that's where beta readers come in. The beta readers, sometimes I'll say things to Paul and he's very close to his work and sometimes it's hard to hear it.
Yeah.
So we have beta readers and invariably if I notice something, I may not say it to him. I said, well, it's not that big or something. Or I say something to him. It's the beta reader saying it that allows him to realize, okay, it's not just Carol being particular. It is a flaw in the story. And authors have flaw in their stories. And that's why you have editors. And that's why you have beta readers. Because you see it here crystal clear, but it doesn't always go on to the paper.
Yeah, and it makes it a more interesting story. I remember when because I had all these nights in Fate, not Fate. Which one?
Heart of the Crown.
No,
Yes.
not Heart of the Crown, after Heart.
No, Shadow.
Oh yeah, sorry. The other stuff that happened came out.
Yeah, Shadow of the Crown.
You're right. Heart of the Crown, and they were a bunch of background characters. But people wanted to know more about them.
I wanted to know more.
So I gave them a lot deeper background and filled in their personalities and so on and made them more distinct. And it made for a much better story.
Yes.
So.
Okay.
Cool. I got a pile up of questions.
Okay. So if you ever need it to be faster, you say, okay, this is a fast round of questions.
Well, I can do that a little bit because there are a couple that.
Okay. Fast round.
A little bit more. First, Chase on YouTube says Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays to everybody.
I wanted more. Paul stopped me.
Arcane Dread, who asked what the snowflake method was, says thanks for the explanation. 45-page outline is incredible.
I don't have to edit
that's
that.
My longest. Yeah, that's my longest outline I think I've ever had.
On YouTube, we have the 12 Decipherables.
Yes. Yeah.
12 Decipherables.
No, that's Narcan. He's the guy who used to be Cheese Narcam, I think was his name.
I don't know. It's phenomenal.
Love the name.
Yeah, he used to be Cheese Narcam. Hi.
The money one can acquire from being an author is a great benefit, but I simply want to share a story I think is really, really cool, and I think others will think so too.
Yeah, he's been working on his own story. We have a few people that come to every live, and they're working on their story, so they ask questions all the time.
And it's ultimately you have to write for yourself, right? You have to write a story that you enjoy, that gives you pleasure.
Not necessarily. We disagree. There are authors who strictly write to market.
Yeah, but you have to enjoy the process.
No, not all of them do. They just write.
I want to be a grumpy author.
I didn't say you. And they're not grumpy. It's just a job. Right?
But I think if it's going to come out in your writing. If you enjoy writing the subject, it's going to come out in your writing.
I know because I do the socials and I do that.
That's fine.
You do the writing. I know there are people who strictly write as a job.
Dream.
You are living your dream.
Yeah. No, I've been doing that since we got married.
Oh, you sweet.
Corny.
You're used to it.
I know. The 12 Decipherable says, hello, Merry Christmas. It is great to see you all.
Yeah.
And then we move on to another one. Bamboo on YouTube says, OMG, I bought a book on Kindle a couple months ago when there was a sale. Maybe this is a sign to read the series finally. It sounds amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. Speaking of sales, if you go to Paul's website,
PaulJBennettAuthor.com,
it will take you to PaulJBennettAuthor.store, where if you put in a code, which is BOGO 50 box, you can buy one, get one 50% off for Boxing Day. But you can't get that special until Boxing Day. So you get it now with that code.
We should clarify for those who are not necessarily from North America what Boxing Day is.
Yeah, that's true.
This is the day after Christmas. That's December 26th.
And it's the day of boxes. You have to put out all the boxes from Christmas. So that's why we call it Boxing Day.
Well,
I
actually,
have a
there's
dog here.
there's dispute about why it's called Boxing Day.
So it works out. So it's buy one, get one, 50% off, which when you do math, which I love, it actually works out to be 25% off. I guess we could have just say 25% off store-wide. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This question, it might follow along earlier when you were giving advice to someone starting writing their book. This person said, someone told me my writing wasn't good enough to publish. Maybe, but I have a world in my mind. Advice.
So one thing I like to say is if you want to get better at writing, you have to write. Like I've written tons of stuff that if I look back at now, I would look at it and think, oh, that's terrible. Especially stuff from years ago. You wouldn't expect to be a really good at a sport if you didn't play the sport, right? You can't be a good soccer player, football for the rest of the world. And you don't play football.
And also I'm going to say, Paul's a decent writer, but I do a lot of heavy editing. And that's why you have an editor. You're not expected to write something where it's ready to publish.
Yeah, I think if you write something and give it to someone and someone doesn't think it's very good, for example, you kind of need maybe a more professional opinion. You need to you need to get it in the hands of an editor who can tell you what's wrong with it. You know, maybe you just need more practice writing, or maybe you have issues with dialogue.
But
there's lots of things it could potentially be. But once again, practice. The more you practice, the better you're going to get at something.
But that's why the editor helps you, because they make you a better writer. Paul and I do editing a little bit differently. Generally, it goes to the editor, it comes back, and you see all the edits that the editor's done. Paul skips that step. I do all the editing, and then he gets it back and it's ready for proofreading.
Yeah, unless the scene needs to be rewritten or something.
Yeah. So an editor can make you a much better writer, but they can also make your prose better. That's their job. Their job is to take the diamond in the rough and make it a 4-carat masterpiece. Yeah. That's what a good editor does for you.
Okay. I want a quick answer from both of you. What's your favorite book?
That he's written, or favorite book?
I believe your favorite book of all time. You can do both.
So my favorite book of all time is probably Sharp Seagull, which I've read probably at least a dozen times.
I don't have a favorite book.
I can't say I have a favorite of my own books because it's whatever book I'm currently on.
Servant of the Crown, the very first book he wrote, is my favorite, because
I thought you were going to say The Bucket List.
Well, I do really like that one, and it's a drop in the bucket. The bucket list is a series.
That's true.
But it's because everything started with that book, and also it's about my character.
That's right. The character of
the main character was me.
Was her character in the role-playing game?
Yes.
Here's a question. I don't know if you know the answer in total. How many words have you written in total in the final published?
So we figured it was more than 3 million.
So in the Heir to the Crown series, it will be 15 books.
TikTok ended.
Yeah, it just does that. It has been 15 books. Was that a TikTok question, or was that a YouTube?
TikTok question.
Okay.
So give me a moment to
well, then I will
real quick. You're gonna math it.
So I'm gonna ask a question. Paul, what do you think people misunderstand most about indie publishing? Oh, my words.
I would suspect people would be astonished by how much work is required to market a book. I think some people think there's an old saying, you know, you create it and they'll come. But the problem is people don't see it. And even if you post it on something like, for example, we'll just take Amazon. There we go, just adjusting the lights a little. If you go on Amazon Yes, your book's available on Amazon, along with, I don't know, 10 million others. And the problem is you have to somehow get your book in front of other people. And I think that's something that you don't think of as when you're, certainly I didn't think of it when I was writing.
It's changed a lot too, to be honest. 10 years ago, you write it and they'll find it. But now the internet is inundated with authors, indie authors. So do we have a technical question?
Well, I lost some of the TikTok comments, but
Yeah.
whilst I remember them,
Yeah.
there was an author, and I unfortunately do not remember what the thing was, but he said that they were supposed to interview you.
Mike Evans?
Yes.
Yes.
So he said, let's get together after the holidays.
Yeah. So he has emailed me, but it's the holidays, Mike, and I probably won't respond until January.
He said it would be after.
Yeah. So yeah, I do know, and he said he was going to come on, but we were supposed to vacation starting Monday, and I still have yet to start vacation. It starts tomorrow. So, and I do need some downtime.
And we, yeah, and I did an interview before with
Dan Tanner.
Dan Tanner,
Yeah. Dan Kenner, sorry, Dan.
Or, sorry, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And that was through a Zoom call.
Yes.
So we have the technology.
We do, we do.
Oh, wonderful. One of the viewers was kind enough to re-put their question on TikTok.
cool.
We
Oh,
missed it,
perfect.
which was a really cool question. Do you have any fans who know the lore and characters even better than you?
Not yet.
No, but we do have people that reread the entire series every time I publish a new
Charles
book.
does.
Yeah, Charles does.
Yeah, Charles does. So we have an ARC team and a beta team, and I manage those. And our beta team, I have some people on the beta team who have been there for 7 years.
So for those who are new to the concept, a beta team gets the early draft, usually after it's gone through, not the last edit, but it's gone through the main edit. And they provide feedback, like what they like, what they don't like. And we generally, Carol will make up like a question sheet.
Yeah, 15 questions.
And then we get feedback like, we want to know more about these characters, or this doesn't make sense, or whatever.
I'll be honest, I write the questions. So if there's something Paul and I disagree about, I ask the beta reader specifically about that.
Yeah.
Because he sometimes needs to hear it twice.
Yep.
Right. And so I would say I'll be honest, that's our biggest conflict working together is editing. It's very difficult to have someone criticize your work. And it's not him I'm criticizing. I'm just simply saying this doesn't work. But when you pour your heart and soul into something, it's like a slap in the face. And so even after 9 years, we are still working on how to do that without one of us getting a little grumpy.
Yep. We won't say which one.
Well, you make it sound like it's me. It's not me. I was being nice. I was trying to be nice. Yeah. And I understand. And I try to couch it in terms, but sometimes it's so cemented in an author's brain, it needs to be a certain way, but it doesn't always work. That's the way they would like it. But if it doesn't flow, it doesn't flow. So
yeah. And it's even, I think, like I'm lucky because, we work side by side, but I think it would be even tougher for a first-time author with an outside editor, because literally you could come back and there could be 40,000.
There are
changes.
40,000.
Yeah.
So when we first started editing, when Paul first started releasing books, I was working a job and he was working a job. So I would do the editing and then I'd send it to him, and it would have all these crossed out lines. And it was so discouraging for him. So then I would just give him the text and I'd hide all the changes and he'd read through it, but then he'd have to reveal the changes so he could know what was changed. So then as we got further and further, it just the point now, I do all the editing. I change the sentence. Like I rip sentences out, I put sentences in, but I know his voice.
I think, you know my voice so well that you can make those changes.
He doesn't get it back. He gives me a rough draft. I usually, on 120,000 words, will rip out and take out 10 to 15,000 words, add about 4,000 or 5,000. I give it back to him ready for proofreading.
Yeah, then we do the read through, and then even then we still find stuff that didn't quite work.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I've read it now 3 times, so you start seeing the same thing. So that's why we have then another editor who goes through it afterwards. But that's also a reason why Paul writes for 3 to 4 books a year, because he doesn't have to do the editing process himself, and it does make a difference.
Yeah. And this year, this year I only released 2 books.
I know,
but I
it's
actually
weird.
wrote
3.
4.
3. You're still
Well,
writing Victory.
Yeah, but there's a Cyric book. But that'll probably, I don't know if we're ever going to.
I don't know that wasn't that one didn't work for me. That's the only thing Paul's ever written. And I know we have a super fan named Karen who's been waiting for her Cyric book because Paul wrote it a year ago and then life got busy.
Yep.
So I was editing it this time and I couldn't edit it. I found it difficult. And I finally said, I don't like the story.
Yeah, I'll have to come up with something.
And he said, oh, okay, well, put it away.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Because too much like another story. So
Yeah, and it gets to the point where it's not worth the effort.
Yeah.
It's easy in some ways. It's easier just to write a new story, like because the Cyric stories are not huge.
No,
They're
but
more like a novella.
and what's neat about the Cyric stories is they're different. And this was just a repeat of another one, and it was too close.
Mm.
Did you lose TikTok again?
No, there's just so many questions.
Okay, so we'll do rapid fire. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're not really rapid fire ones. Well, this one could be: would you prefer your books to be animated or live action? If you had to
Live
choose?
action.
Live action, I think, would work better.
Okay, that's it.
John asks, apologies if this has already been covered, but I'm curious about how much time you typically spend on social media and other forms of marketing each day or per week.
That'd be me. I probably spend. I should be spending more social media. I used to spend about 1.5 to 2 hours a day on social media. Advertising is anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, and then editing is 3 to 4 hours. I work longer days than Paul. I also do my social media in the morning and evening. He gets burned out from writing very quickly, to be honest. He does about 4 hours a day of writing. I am a workaholic, so I don't mind doing the longer days.
Yeah, I'll get to the point in the afternoon where I just my creative juices are just gone.
So he goes and sits and does something else while I continue to work. But that's the personality I've been. I've run businesses, large businesses before, so I like to be busy.
Looking back at when you were clarifying about Boxing Day, Bamboo said, "Oh wow, that's a great sale, and thanks for the clarification about Boxing Day.
Yeah.
In the Netherlands, we do not call it that."
Yeah,
I think
we
it's
do have people.
only the UK and us that do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's starting to creep into the US now, I think.
Yeah, but Black Friday has crept more into Canada than
Yes.
Boxing Day has crept into the US.
Boxing Day is
Believe in
typically
Boxing Day in the States.
No, it's not even a holiday.
It's not technically a holiday.
so
Yes, it is. It's a statutory holiday.
Boxing Day is the day that
people work it.
everyone discounts to get rid of last year's stock. I think really, that's what it's become.
Oh, look, the Dancing Santas didn't sell.
Yeah,
They're on sale.
On sale on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
The 12 Decipherables, who was
Cheese Narcan.
before.
Yeah,
Yep.
see?
Change name because that name is silly. Their own words.
Okay.
Asked, would you ever write sci-fi?
Oh yeah, I actually have a whole concept for a series for sci-fi, but I think I have too much fantasy to do first. So if it's going to be a few
Gotta get
years.
the fantasy out of
So,
your system.
but he has Drake's Forge, and that was one of the books he started writing that I read and really enjoyed.
Yeah, I'll have to I've changed the name.
Yeah, because that would be the third time you've used Forge.
Well, not only that, but I believe there's another book series that uses a character with a similar name. So
But it was really good, and we've actually talked about how he could relate it to this series. So he probably will. He will relate it to his fantasy series through one of the
Same
races.
universe.
Yeah, same universe, but
Same universe. Yeah, maybe we'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
I'll never,
I mean,
never say no.
I feed him really healthy food, and he takes vitamins and supplements. We should have another 20 or 30 years out of him.
Yep. I won't be retiring.
No. Well, through choice.
Yeah, through choice.
I mean, technically retiring in a month, but you're still working.
I'll be technically a senior citizen.
I know. Oh my God. You're old.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
The 12 Disciple says, I'm kind of in the middle, sorta. I call it sci-fantasy because it's primarily science fiction, but coded in fantasy, if you will.
Yes. Yeah.
That
Like a lot
works
of people say Star Wars is sci-fi.
Space fantasy.
Space fantasy.
We call it sci-fi fantasy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's still got fantasy to it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Force is just magic, really, when you think about it.
Yes.
Darth Vader's a death mage.
Yes.
We've got some really interesting questions in here.
Okay.
What advice would you give to a budding book marketer?
So do not do all the socials. Pick 2 that 2 speak to you and 2 that you can do well. So I do all of them, but that's my job. But honestly, certain ones, when we first started out, Facebook was very big. It is not as big now. Now for us, our reach is more TikTok and YouTube. We have the biggest reach.
On TikTok, you want to look up book talk. That's
Yes.
what hashtag, I guess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of
And the other thing was is be yourself, because if you don't want to go in front of the screen, like Paul did not want to be in front of the screen, and so probably the first couple of years, if you go see his Facebook, he's not there. It's me doing the dogs. I had our dog Brady.
yes.
I would do promos with the dogs because Paul didn't want to do the
Pictures
socials.
of Brady with a pair of glasses and a book in front of him.
Yeah, and we did a whole bunch of stuff. We only really leaned into you doing it about 4 years ago.
Yeah. And I mean, some authors, all they do is hold up their book
Yeah, and that works.
and have some text, and that's
Other
it.
people, I mean, if you don't want to be in front of the screen, you don't have to be. You can find trending songs, but if you want to know how to bookmark it, follow other people on socials. If you're doing book marketing, but then there's advertising. So we advertise on Amazon, we advertise on BookBub, we advertise with newsletter swaps with other authors.
And also, platforms like Kobo have their own.
Kobo, if you're an author, you need to write to Kobo Writing Life and get the promotions tab.
Yeah, they got some great stuff.
They have great stuff. And then we also do promotions through emails. We use something called BookBub, one of the best. We use Written Word Media, Book Barbarian.
Oh, and also, we do newsletter swaps.
I said that.
Oh, you did say that.
I did say that. Don't you try to laugh at me. Stay in your wheelhouse. Do you have another question? Or do we lose TikTok again? Okay.
No, I started copying the comments from TikTok into a document, so if I lose them, I still have them.
I know.
Good idea.
But it takes a lot to be the person behind the camera, doesn't it?
It'd be easier with more monitors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can never have enough monitors.
Okay.
Okay, let me just grab that really quick. What advice would you give to an inspiring writer who struggles with typing out scenes and actions?
I would suggest looking into dictation. So sometimes the thoughts in your head, you could speak them a lot faster than you can type them. Paul did a bit of dictation. Now he's a super fast typer, but sometimes saying it out is a lot easier than typing it.
It's actually interesting. When I was writing Servant of the Crown, I was working at the time, and I would go for a walk at lunchtime, and I would just turn the recorder on my phone, and I would just describe a scene.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually need the audio recording, because then I would remember.
Yeah.
But just going through the action helped me work out the scene in question. And then when it came time to write it, I already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's a decent tip. Sometimes you just have to sort of decide, why do you want this scene? Technically, any scene should advance the plot somehow. Doesn't mean you have to literally, it could just reveal something about a character, for example, or about a relationship between characters, or it could be something towards whatever the end goal of the storyline is. But every scene should have a purpose for being there.
Well, and it's funny you say that, because when I'm reading through it, I'll say, I don't know what happens, we'll say 10 or 12 chapters from this, but this seems like an unnecessary thing. Does it come up later? And he'll go, well, actually, I wrote that in there, and then I changed what happened in the next thing. And I say, then we're getting rid of it.
Yep, we're taking stuff out. But at the same time, there have been scenes
Yes.
where it is important because of something that comes later in the story. So, it goes both ways.
There's been times when he's lost track of characters, and I've had to say, what happened to this character? He goes, oh, I totally forgot about him.
Yeah. I was in Victory of the Crown, actually. I was writing and I thought, oh, wait a second, this character can't be here. They're somewhere else.
That has happened.
Yep.
Next question.
So the 12 Decipherable says, awesome. I will be on the lookout. I'm a slow reader because I take a lot in and go slower through books, but I'm close to finishing Servant of the Crown and I'm excited for the next one. And also, honestly, Darth Vader kind of is a death mage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Force choke. That could be a new death mage spell. A choke.
Choke?
Force choke.
No.
Call it something else.
No.
I thought you said it was a clean book.
It's clean, but it's not without violence.
Yeah, there's violence. It's just not.
Oh no, I see where you're going with that.
Oh.
No. Get your mind out of the gutter. Who are your parents?
Yeah.
What a surprise.
I know.
Okay, so we got a Merry Christmas.
Merry
What do you
Christmas.
think the best Christmas story is?
Oh.
You gotta think of Christmas stories.
The best Christmas, like a movie?
I don't know.
It
Paul's
says story, I would assume because you are an author.
So Paul actually took 'twas the night before Christmas, and I think 3 times now has rewritten it to his books. I'll find it and repost it tomorrow.
Twice, I think.
Was it
2
twice?
times, yeah.
I
Because
thought
one
you-
was Murray the Moose,
Yeah.
and the other one was Anna's Midwinter Feast, I think.
Okay.
So I
yeah.
think there's the 2 of them.
I'll find them and repost them. But
Because Murray the Moose is really about Beverly's character.
I mean, you have to look at our age. One of my favorite movies really is a bit cringy, some people say, but I really liked Love Actually at the time. But I know that there are a lot of things in there who my daughter has told me that aren't really appropriate now and don't roll quite the same
Yeah.
way they did then.
And I think White
But
Christmas we watch every year.
We do watch White Christmas everywhere year. We do watch Jimmy Stewart. What am I?
Oh, It's a Wonderful
It's a
Life.
Wonderful Life.
Yep.
Elf we like, and I love Spirited.
Yeah, that's a
Ryan
newer one.
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, Will
we
Ferrell.
we really enjoyed that one.
Hilarious.
We do watch a lot of Christmas movies. It's
We
not-
binge watch them over the holidays.
yeah, we like a happy love story. We're not Paul's not into like romantic drama, I guess is the best way to say
Yeah,
it.
to my mind, when you're watching a movie and everything could have been solved with like one discussion, it just seems like
Yeah.
these people just can't communicate.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
not
and
much
so
of a story here.
We do watch some like that, and we both look at each other and go, "Ugh."
It's really more a case of who's in it, because we
Yeah.
have certain actors and
Yeah.
actresses that we like in
Yeah,
movies and
and
others.
we like it to have a little Christmas magic in it. So, like, there's a little bit of Christmas magic. We like that. Or if it's reasonable, but we do like Christmas movies a lot.
Yep.
Sometimes you just need to relax and you just throw that movie on and you half watch it.
Yep.
Alexa Capybara asks, what inspired you to write your books?
I think from my perspective,
Well, I don't write, so it's
My-
all your perspective.
my background in running role-playing games, because I was creating worlds where I imagined all kinds of neat stuff happening, but it was the players that were controlling what was happening, not me. And it was a chance for me to sort of live in that world and have things happen in the world and tell my own story. I think that was the impetus for writing my own books.
I don't write stories. I just make them shine.
Yeah.
Own the Gnome.
Oh, I love the name.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's Own the Gnome. Hello, I've always wanted to write a book specifically fantasy. I just started planning it out a little.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's good.
And then I'd like to follow on that with Anime Fan LT, who asked, what advice do you have for someone interested in writing fantasy fiction but doesn't know where to start?
I think writing, any kind of writing, you want to sort of figure out what genre you really want. Some people want to write detective stories or sci-fi, but even like fantasy has so many subgenres, right? Like there's Noble Bright, there's what do you call it? Like Grimdark. There's even like,
Steampunk.
yeah, steampunk was the one I was trying to think of.
Okay.
Or gas lamp is another variation of that theme. And there's high fantasy and sword and sorcery and whatever. So I think you kind of want to decide what flavor you want and then build on it from there. Like if you're world building, you have to consider, like in my case, my world is essentially medieval, but socially they're a little bit later than medieval. They're more established in terms of their nobility and some of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So you can put your own twist on it. That's the nice thing about fantasy. You can take ideas from different periods of time, combine them together in your own unique way. Maybe it's on another planet with two moons or something, and maybe that creates strange gravitational forces or whatever. You can do what you like, but you kind of have to decide what is the story you want, and then you can either fit your story to the world or fit your world to the story, depending on which approach you want to take.
Did you lose TikTok again?
No.
Okay.
Next question.
Yeah, sorry.
How do you determine which social media sites to advertise on? Can you track success of individual campaigns?
Yes, so you can use Amazon. If you're an Amazon associate, you can use
Now we lost it.
yeah, I just said
That is a Facebook question though, so.
yeah. At Amazon, you can do attribution links. So you can use a link to your book on Amazon in your social media, and Amazon will show you how many clicks you got. So you can track that way. But another way to do is to, if you have multiple books, only promote that one book on that one social media. So then you're going to know which social media, because you did a different book. If you only have the one book,
yeah,
then just promotes a different site. So if you're wide, promote only on Kobo. So you can tailor what you're promoting so you can manage to see the traffic. I do a lot of advertising on BookBub, and I advertise on Kobo. I do Canada, Australia, Great Britain, and USA. And I then go into Kobo and I can see, oh, look, we sold 3 more books of that book that I was advertising. So how much did I spend here and how much did we earn? So with Paul, because he has multiple books, we look at the read through. So I may spend $3 for somebody to buy one book, which you would think, well, then you're not making any money. But Paul has 15 books in that series. So for everybody who downloads book 1, or say 100 people download book 1, I know how many people are going to download or read book 2, 3, 4, and all the way through. So I know the read through of each of his series, which allows me to say, hey, if I wanted to, I could actually spend 3 times what we'd earn on book 1, because we're going to get it on the back end.
Yeah, when you have a longer series, by the time you get to about book 3 or 4, things even out. Because if someone's committed enough to get 3 books in, they're probably going to read 4 and 5 and so on.
Yeah, and on his Heir to the Crown series, actually book 6, there's a dip, because it's a deep, long series. So that's about when we do it. And that particular book is less fighting.
Yes.
So that's where we lose it. But we have a read through, like we only lose about 3 to 5% once we hit book 6.
But also, book 5 is the end of one of the big arcs.
Yes.
So there's 3 big arcs in the series, and the second arc is book 6 to 10, and then 11 to 15 is the last big arc.
Mateo on TikTok asks if you teach others how to write or that process.
Does Paul teach others?
No.
Like, is it possible that you would teach how to write a good story?
I mean, I don't have the time to teach. I used to be an instructor, but not for writing.
You used to be an IT instructor.
Used to be an IT instructor. So I'm used to being in front of people, but I spend all my time writing, so I really don't have the time.
I don't know. Maybe if someone approached you, like a university or something, to teach. I don't know whether you
I don't
say
know.
no.
I mean, I could see doing like a guest lecture or something. I don't think I would want to commit to like an entire course.
No, I think they're talking more one-on-one.
Oh, author coaching?
Yeah.
It's not something we've looked at. I know for me, I've been approached by a writing society to run some workshops. I like doing that sort of stuff because once I create it, I don't have to create it again. I can just teach more and more people.
But once again, that's a one session.
Well, it is, it isn't. If you're doing coaching, then you just have more people, but it's not something we've looked at. As we're getting older, we're trying to do less.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like we're not young anymore. And we would like a little bit more free time. It has been like we've been going full steam for 8 years. I have. You were going double full steam because you were writing and working.
Yep.
Right. So we want a little bit of time to relax.
To enjoy the fruits of our labors.
Yes.
Anime Fan LT asks, how long have you been writing?
So my first book was published 9 years ago.
No, his first book was published 8 years ago. He started writing 9 years ago.
Yeah, okay. So technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think when I actually, because we published in October.
2017, that was 8 years ago. You started writing in November 2016 because I bought you Sigil.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, he's been writing since a young age.
Yes,
Not
but
Sigil. Sigil I downloaded for free. You mean
Scrivener.
Scrivener, yeah. Yeah, that's when I got serious. So yeah. What's the dog?
The matter?
Why are you whining?
I don't know whether they can see her
Is the
tail.
blanket on your foot?
Do you want your blanket on you? Is that the problem? Here, let's put the blanket on you. There you go.
No, I think she's
Okay. Next question.
yeah, I'm not looking at that. I don't need questions.
Anime Fan LT also asks,
Yeah.
what advice do you have for writer's block?
Ooh,
This
yes.
dreaded.
So some of this will depend on how you're writing. I use outlines. So if I find I can't write the prose, like I've got writer's block, then I'll work on an outline. And I always have multiple projects on the go at the same time.
Yeah.
So, for example, right now I'm writing, or before we took our Christmas break, I was working on Victory the Crown. I also have outlines for 7 books in the bucket list. I also have outlines for at least, well, partial outlines for at least 5 out of 8 books in my next series, The Duality of Magic. So if I can't write Victory on a given day, I may just go into the outlines and work on, adding ideas for other books.
So a suggestion, if you have writer's block, you're blocked at that point, move further in the story. Write a different chapter.
Yeah, you
come
can
back
even
to it.
jump ahead, right, to a later part of
Yeah,
the
like if this scene with the meet cute isn't working, just using that as an example, or the dialogue isn't working here, put in needs to have dialogue about when they meet and then go somewhere else, because you're only blocked there. You're not blocked further in the story.
And sometimes writer's block can happen because you're not sure where you're taking the story.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, it might be worth your while to consider a mild outline, maybe not a full outline, but sort of scribble down some ideas like, where can I take this story? Just like in point form, don't actually worry about writing the prose, but try sort of spitballing. Okay, I've got this scene,
Hazel.
they meet, but what's going to happen? Where do I want them to get to? Where are they going to go?
Come here, Hazel. Come on up.
You're going to come up and join us?
Come on up. Up, up, come on. Up, up. Okay, come on. You have to do the other part, honey. Come on up. Come on. Come on up.
It's nearly Christmas.
I know.
On your
Yeah.
lap.
Come on. Come on up.
Come on up, bud.
I can't. Oh,
No.
you're such a big suck.
Okay, next question.
Next question.
Stella Studios Production says, hello.
Hello. Oh, Hazel heard hello.
Will you do a special Christmas story with your existing characters?
I've done a couple in poem form, 2 of them,
Yeah.
which you mentioned earlier. We'll have to see about putting them up on the website.
Yeah, I will.
At some point. Will I do a Christmas, like I'm not going to release a Christmas theme?
Never say never.
Well, the
You-
closest I get is a Midwinter Murder.
Yeah, he does write. He did write a Midwinter Murder, which is about a midwinter feast, which is
So
what you
in
would
the
say
world of
Christmas.
Idenworth, they don't celebrate Christmas per se, but they do celebrate midwinter, which is their version of a holiday. And that involves a big feast. And the character of Cyric, who is a temple knight, he gets invited to this family's feast, because as a member of a religious order, he's there to like bless the meal and so on. And of course, it's called a midwinter murder because shock of shocks, somebody dies.
What?
So that's about as close as we've gotten so far
Yeah.
for a.
I mean, there are Christmas scenes in Servant of the Crown. Well, midwinter feast scenes.
Yeah, the midwinter feast features in a couple of stories, but there is no one book that's entirely focused
Do you
other
want me
than
to pick you
midwinter
up?
murder.
Devout Deb says, "Hey Paul, why did you choose to self-publish?"
Oh, okay.
So self-publishing. Okay, we're
She's
gonna.
not late.
There we go. So why did I choose to self-publish? It's all about, to be honest, it's all about the control you have over the books. If you go through a publisher, you're giving up some of the freedom. First of all, I would never have been able to publish all the books that I've done. If I'd gone through traditional publishing, it probably would have taken a long time just to get the first book published, especially as a beginning author. Whereas with self-publishing, it's ready to go when you think the manuscript is complete. You still have to worry about things like book covers and things like that, of course. But it's just you have more control over the process. And I think from our perspective too, looking at it from a business perspective, we earn a living
Yes.
from selling these books. And so it gives us a bit more control.
But that's not to say we wouldn't go traditionally published. To be honest, Paul's a hybrid author because he is traditionally published for his audiobooks.
That's correct.
Some of them.
So yeah, so The Frozen Flame is available in its entirety in audiobooks, and the Heir to the Crown, the first
Four
four books are available.
3 were done with a publisher, and then we did one.
Yeah.
Anime Fan LT says, "Thank you so much for answering my questions. I really appreciate it. And also, such a cute doggy."
Yeah.
Stella Studios Production says, "Very interesting story. Thank you for answering my question." Michael asks, "How important is being prolific when self-publishing?"
Being prolific helps. There's an old saying, nothing sells book one like book two.
But it's actually changed recently. People used to do something called rapid release because your book used to fall off a cliff at 30 days. There'd be that 30-day bump, and then sales would slow down. But that doesn't exist anymore. So you just publish when you want to.
Yeah.
But you do, if you're looking to be a full-time author, you don't absolutely have to, but honestly, advertising does make it possible. It's pretty hard to do without advertising nowadays. The landscape has changed dramatically.
It has. I think so if you think of it this way, if you publish a single book that's a standalone book, there's nothing wrong with that. But your marketing is going into selling a single book. If you publish 3 separate individual books, it's harder to link. Like if someone likes this book, doesn't necessarily mean they'll like this other book.
Well, they even know about it.
If they're part of a series, they'll be connected on things like Amazon and Kobo and so on,
Yes.
because they'll have a series page.
It's free advertising.
It's like free advertising.
Yeah.
And that's why, I said nothing sells book one like book two. Well, obviously there's a limit. I'm not suggesting everyone write a 15-book series.
Will you ever write another 15-book series?
No. I mean, I've 2 of my series are 8 books long. I probably would never go 8. I'm not even sure I'd go 8 books again. I think 6. I don't think I can do a trilogy other than the one story I have in mind.
You have The Lost
King. I don't know that I could do, just because I'm seeing bigger story that requires more books. And I don't want to do one gigantic book that's too heavy to pick up. But I want each book to have a story that's complete, that links into a larger story, which has always sort of been my go-to for my series.
Noah asks, "Do you have any info about how to continue writing? As I'm currently 117,000 words into my first novel, and I can't seem to keep writing more."
Maybe that means the story's done. So you need to look at the story. If you're writing what they call discovery writing or by the seat of your pants and you've just been telling the story, maybe you can't write more because that story's done. Now, it may not be, you may not have written the last words, but the story may be done and that's just what's happening. It's time to finish it. That's what I'd say.
That's a decent sized book.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
117,000 is a lot of words. I can't speak to your individual case because I don't know, is it plotted? Is it done by the seat of your pants? I don't know if you had an idea where you wanted the story to go. Sometimes it can just be fatigue. You've been working on the book so long that you're just kind of drained dry and then you're done with it as a writer.
Take a break.
Take a break, work on something else, come back to it, get away from it maybe for a week. And then, just do something else. Like don't stop writing because everything you write is going to help you, even if you don't publish it. I wrote Servant of the Crown, completed the entire story, didn't publish it right away. I ended up writing the second book in the series. Then, because I'd learned so much from writing 2 books, I went back and I made changes to the first book and it flowed much better.
Took out 7 chapters and added 6, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
LW5395 asks, could you make an option to buy the full collection of Heir to the Crown on your website?
It's there. So you can buy an ebook format, you can buy paperback and signed paperback. They're all there. So if you go to the website, Paul J Bennett author.store. If you go to com, it'll take you there.
Yeah.
And you go to series, the first thing you're going to see is the ebook series, the complete series, and I think you save 30%. And so right now, if you were to buy Heir to the Crown and the Frozen Flame, you would get Frozen Flame for 25% off. If you use the code, buy one, get one 50% off for Boxing Day. BOGO50BOX. I've memorized that. It will also be going up for sale on Boxing Day, but if you want to get it early.
It's BOGO 50 box, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
BOGO 50 box.
Need it.
Yeah. And you get a whole bunch of neat stuff, which is down there, but I can't get to it because Hazel's on my lap.
Yep.
Like bookmarks. Pretty bookmarks.
You have to order through our website for that,
Yeah.
though, not
Yeah.
through third party.
Box up for you.
No, it's fine.
Anime Fan LT asks, which of your series would you recommend to someone who is new to your work?
So we get this question pretty
All
much
the
every
time.
week.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It really depends how you feel about fantasy. If you really like magic and you want to jump right into magic, you read The Frozen Flame. If you want to be introduced to the world of Idenworth slowly, you start with Servant of the Crown. If you're more into military and warriors and stuff like that, you read the Power Ascending series. There's no right place to start. You can start with any of the series. I do recommend, if you're going to read a series,
read it in numerical order.
The series in numerical order.
Yes.
And I would not suggest hopping between series, to be honest. It's easier to keep the continuity straight. And they're meant to be read as a complete series. There are crossovers from time to time, but it doesn't matter. You can read each series independently.
Following up with that one, Michael asks, would you say reading in publication order would be rewarding, or is there a better reading order?
So the publication order is listed on his website. If you're interested, which pauljbennetauthor.com, you can go and see the chronological order, so the order they are in the world, or you can see the publication order in the order that he published them. So it all depends on what you want.
Yeah, I think if you read them in the publication order, you're going to see you're going to evolve.
Oh.
You're going to see the evolution of my writing style.
And my editing skills. Yeah, because I got to be a better editor.
I would recommend you pick a series and read through that series.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think if you read fantasy all the time, it doesn't matter which one you pick. Otherwise, pick one of the shorter series, one of the 8-book series.
Yeah.
But if you like one of the series, you're probably going to like all of them. They're all very similar in a lot of regards. They have
No, they're actually all different.
relatable. Well, but they have relatable characters.
Yes, they do, but they're written differently.
Yes, they are. The power sending is mostly single point of view as
Yeah.
well. You don't get into the minds of the back.
Never.
Which has made it. I won't do another series.
No.
Style is too much.
Please
work.
don't.
But the other ones you can get the view of the bad guys and stuff and find out what they're plotting.
And in Heir to the Crown, you never actually hear Anna's thoughts. She's the only character.
The concept behind that series is that you interact as a reader with everyone around the princess, but you don't actually get her point of view.
I didn't
except for
say
one
princess. You just gave a spoiler.
Oh, I think by now that's pretty, because you can just read what happens on the outlines and figure that part out.
Nope, it's not in
I
there.
didn't say who it was.
D4 Arland says, hey, I'm writing a script for a movie and I'm interested in how to make it more original. This deviates a little bit from your genre. It's a horror, but based on the comment, I'm assuming it's a horror fantasy. I have this hotel idea with a bellboy who's using the hotel with his corrupted whispering ability. I believe the question would be, how do you differentiate your ideas and make them original in comparison?
Okay.
I mean,
There's only so many stories out
yeah,
there.
there's an old saying that there's only 7 plots.
Yeah.
You really just I think it comes down to the characters.
Yes.
You imbue the characters with interesting, you make them the characters interesting, and you know, like a good example of this, you look at TV and you look at what TV shows are popular and you get things like High Potential. You've
Yes.
got a quirky character, right? They did the same thing with Monk
Yes.
or with what's the other guy with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation?
Oh, Will Trent.
Will Trent, yeah.
Yeah.
You get a quirky character.
Yeah.
Give him his own
A unique character,
their
yeah.
own unique qualities. And I think that's what's going to draw people in.
It's the characters that draw people into your stories, but also suspense draws people in. It's more suspenseful for the, I think, whoops, where are we going? It's more of what?
TikTok.
Okay. It's more suspenseful for the reader to know what's happening and the character not to know. It pulls the reader into the story, right? They're like, oh my God, they don't know. They don't know when they're going to find out.
Yeah, you know, it was Alfred Hitchcock.
That's it.
Once said, you know, you could have a scene in a movie where a guy's sitting in a chair and the chair blows up and kills him.
Yes.
That's not suspenseful. But if the audience knows there's a bomb underneath the chair ticking away.
Yes.
Especially if you see a counter ticking down.
Yes.
Suddenly that's suspense because the reader is going, oh, quick, you're going to do something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is how you build suspense. And I would think with horror, that's the kind of thing you want to do. You want people to sort of realize what's going on, even though the character doesn't. All
right. So we're going to end in 5 minutes. So get those last questions.
Geez, okay.
What?
Well, now I gotta catch up here.
Yeah.
Or we can go longer, but it is 5 to 9.
Okay.
So we got asked a question on TikTok.
Okay.
Do you know who Charles Bukowski is?
No.
To begin with, okay. Because they were asking whether you found his work and life story inspiring. He's a prolific American author who exposed the seedy underbelly of American society through poetry, prose, screenwriting, art, letters, and essays.
No.
Can't say.
But I think that's outside of our realm in Canada.
Yes.
Sean says, resistance is futile. You must buy them all.
Yes, Sean. Yes. And right now you can get them for 25% off if you go to the website and use buy one, get one for 50% off.
50, yep.
For Boxing Day. So BOGO 50 BOX.
And we've got a Merry Christmas.
And happy holidays to everybody.
Yes. Merry Christmas.
And Sean asked, do you recommend breaking up chapters so they don't become just a long narrative?
So I've kind of settled on roughly 3,000 words for a chapter. And to me, that's a comfortable length. But it varies a lot. I've read books where a chapter could be just one scene that's only a couple of pages. And even in my first book, there's
I was just gonna say,
that are longer than others.
yes, you have some that are 7,000 words and some that are like 800
I
words.
think the trick is the chapter should be the length it needs to be
To set-
to introduce whatever that
Yeah.
element is to the story.
For the scene.
For the scene, yeah.
There is
Or
no
even
right or
multiple
wrong.
scenes.
Yeah.
And I would also say anyone who tells you that you have to have a certain length of chapter is no, you'll find a chapter length that works for you. There is no right or wrong in writing, really. There's
No.
it's just what works for you. Next question.
I believe that's where we're at. There is a comment of a novel called Land of Zikala, but there is no other.
Oh, that's just someone promoting their book on our feed. So I usually delete those comments. So you can reply directly to people too if you do the 3 little dots. Well, we want to thank everybody for coming. We really appreciate it. Probably in the new year, we're going to go for 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
For-
gives us a little more time to prep and have dinner and stuff.
Yes, and maybe somebody will settle more.
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, Eastern Standard Time. Although we do always have our European edition. So that's a little bit, that's always at the end of the month.
Yep, the last Tuesday of the month, which will
Yeah.
be next week. won't it?
Yes. Yes.
So that'll
All
be
right. Oh,
time.
yeah, there's usually an extra couple questions as we're saying thank you.
There's a really cool question.
Okay.
What would you say is your approach to magic systems?
Okay, so this is something I like to talk about, so we're going to go over it. Fine.
Hi,
There's
Hazel.
2 types of magic. There's hard magic and soft magic. Hard magic has rules. Think of hard magic as like a game system, like Dungeons and Dragons, for example. And that's what I have, actually. Not Dungeons and Dragons. I have my own magic system based on my own role-playing game. There are rules to how magic works. Soft magic, there's tons of books out there that use soft magic. Lord of the Rings is a good example of soft magic, actually. When magic does occur, there's no predicting what it's going to be. It's not just a fireball. It's something. You know, maybe it's the hero suddenly unleashing magic that saves the world or whatever.
Yep.
But it's not a detailed system. When I created my world, I wanted a magic system that was powerful on the individual level, but not world changing. Because that leaves the impetus on the character interactions, not just some powerful magic user, which I find more interesting. Not that you can't do it the other way around, you can, but that was a very deliberate choice on my part to keep the focus on the actions of the characters and not just one powerful magic using individual.
That's just somebody made a post on Facebook. So that is,
Time to journal.
Yeah.
oh, that's for my mental health.
Journal about your live stream.
Yeah, I have to journal about how my day's gone. Fantastic. What was that?
So similar to Brian Sanderson in the approach to magic systems.
Brandon
Yep,
Sanderson.
that's what I meant.
Yeah,
I read too fast.
exactly.
Yes.
Brian Jackson.
Also a good author. All right.
Jackson is the Redwall, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was wonderful being on this side. It's so much more relaxing being on this side of the camera than behind it. Behind it is it's as Amanda, it's tough. There's a lot going on behind the camera. In front of the camera, it's just sitting here.
Well, it's nice on something like this because it's mostly questions.
Yes.
When you got to talk and it's not questions, and you have to fill in those
I have no. When have I ever had a problem talking?
Yeah.
We had no issues with that today, though. There were lots of good questions.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
We did a lot of promotion for it today. Well, twice. That's a lot for us.
Yeah.
Life usually gets in the way.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Once again, feel free to visit our website at pauljbennetauthor.com. You can order books. You can just learn more about the world of Eidenworth. There's bestiary on there. There are maps on there from the various
All the
books and
saints.
series.
And what's happening, Paul? There's a sale.
And there's a sale, of course. If you order more than one book, we have a buy one get one at 50% off.
Yes. For Boxing Day.
For Boxing Day. Or you can go there right now and order them and use the code BOGO 50 box.
Woohoo! Well done.
That's 50, not spelled 50.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you're around next week, we'll be broadcasting earlier in the day
For our European
friends in
edition.
Europe.
So Amanda's gonna, when she has a chance, she's gonna get up and press the end stream button on the phone.
You guys have to do an outro now.
Okay, we have to do an outro. Well, Hazel wants to say thank you. Hi. This is our puppy Hazel.
One of two.
One of two. She was adopted from a rescue organization 2 years ago. She is part Basset and we think part Dachshund because she's not fat like a Basset. She's thin and maneuverable.
And made of rubber.
And her body is like longer than my leg. She's like a big snake with no bones.
Yeah.
Quick question as we go out here. Are you more reachable via email or messenger for interview requests?
Either or. So anything you send will come to me. I manage Paul. He's busy writing. So everything I can take off his plate means he can write more
Email's
books.
Probably an easier way to include all the information.
Yeah, email's easier, but messenger, if you message me, then I'll say, okay, DM, and then I can give you the information. But email's Paul, our admin at pauljbennetauthor.com. Both will work.
So either Paul at pauljbennetauthor.com or admin at pauljbennetauthor.com.
Oh, were you about to ask that to be repeated?
Yeah. So we're clear on it.
Yeah.
Well, this is our longest stream.
Yes, and if you ever have any questions that you can't come to a live stream for, you can also email them to us and we will include them in there. There was actually questions asked, but I forgot to grab them before I got on, so.
We ended up being very busy anyway, so.
Yeah, I feel sorry. Well, maybe answer this. Maybe I'll come for the last 15 minutes of each talk and just sit with it on my lap with the laptop. Instead of the dog, I'll have a dog. Instead of a dog top, I'll have a laptop. She's very relaxed. She's ready to go out.
We could be streaming someone who's streaming.
Yes.
Streamception.
Ah! Are there any more questions? All right. So if you want to, we're going to say thank you and happy holidays.
Yeah. And we'll see you when.